Welcome, everyone. Okay, so if you've ever sat down at a Chinese dinner table and felt, well, completely overwhelmed by the sheer mountain of food just being constantly pushed onto your plate, you are absolutely in the right place. Today, we're using our source material to decode the incredibly fascinating culture of the Chinese dinner table. And we're going to do things a little differently. We're turning this explainer into an interactive, gamified challenge. So get ready to actually speak out loud, play along with the pauses, and let's level up our cultural fluency together.
Right, here is our level map for today's explainer. We'll start with level 1, the cultural hook, move on to level 2 for our vocabulary challenge, hit level 3 for some roleplay scenarios, and finally face off in level 4, the final boss quiz. So let's jump right in. Level 1, the cultural hook. To truly understand Chinese dining, we have to look at the psychological barrier that trips up almost every single Western guest. Our source material shares this brilliant story about a woman named Anna. During her very first visit to a Chinese friend's home, the mother just kept piling meat onto Anna's plate, repeatedly telling her to eat more. Now, Anna had already eaten half the food on the table. When she politely said she was full, the mom replied, "How can you be full? You haven't eaten anything." Anna felt pretty uncomfortable. She actually interpreted this as criticism, like she was too skinny or she wasn't eating correctly or that she needed to change her habits. But the reality? That mother was literally pouring her heart out. In Chinese culture, this relentless feeding is a profound, undeniable declaration of love.
So what does this all mean? Why exactly does food equal love? Let's break it down into 3 simple steps. First up, historical scarcity. For a really long period in Chinese history, people simply did not have enough to eat. Being full wasn't just, physical satisfaction. It was a stroke of absolute luck and something to be deeply, deeply grateful for. Second, family reunion. Eating isn't just fuel here, it's the ultimate symbol of unity. Sitting together basically means we are family. And third, unspoken affection. Older generations in China rarely actually use the words "I love you." Instead, they cook a massive feast, place the absolute best pieces of meat right in your bowl, and tell you to eat. That action completely replaces the words.
All right, moving on to level 2, vocabulary training. It's time to build your toolkit. I want you to actively engage here. Shout out the word if you know it, or just take a guess during the pause. First step, an image representing a large quantity. Does anyone know the Chinese word for more or many? I'll give you a second.
The answer is duo, spelled D-U-O. Let's practice this to get the pronunciation absolutely perfect. I'm going to use the rule of 3, so repeat after me, nice and slow. Duo, duo, duo. Great job. A simple context phrase for this is duo y dian, which just means a little more. Keep that one locked in your memory. Let's move to the next one. Think about what we're doing at the table. What is the vital Chinese verb for to eat? Shout it out if you know it. If you guessed chi, you nailed it. C-H-I. Let's do our 3 slow repetitions for pronunciation. Ready? Chi, chi, chi. Excellent. Now, if you want to use it in a simple sentence, you could say 我想吃, which means I want to eat. Okay, final piece of the puzzle for this section. Imagine a tiny pinch or a small dot. What is the word for a little bit? Think about it for a second. The word is dian, D-I-A-N. Let's practice. Dian, dian, dian. A really simple context phrase is 就要点, meaning just a little. Now, let's brilliantly illustrate how this all comes together. Combine all 3 words we just learned. 多吃点, 多吃点. Eat a little more. This is quite literally the ultimate phrase of love and hospitality. Now, check out how these core words build the daily vocabulary of a loving Chinese family. You're going to constantly hear 来多吃点, come on, eat more. It's a super polite, warm invitation. Or they might be playfully scolding you with 你吃得太少了, you eat too little. And the cool part is it extends beyond food. 穿暖一点, dress warmer. It's that loving, slightly pushy, incredibly warm parental tone. They aren't criticizing you, they are caring for you. Okay, let's level up. Level 3, role play scenarios. So imagine you're a guest. The host looks at your empty bowl, beams at you and says, 再来一碗吧, have another bowl. Now, in our source material, there's this fantastic story from a Chinese man named Li Yang. When he first went abroad and visited a Western friend's house, he finished his bowl and just waited. He waited for the host to insist he have another bowl, but they didn't. They just kept chatting.
Li Yang was absolutely heartbroken. He literally thought, do they not like me? Did I do something wrong? And this right here brilliantly illustrates the cultural divide. A Western host shows love and respect by honoring your autonomy, right? You stopped eating, so I respect your choice. But a Chinese host shows love by anticipating your needs and insisting you have more, playfully pushing past your polite modesty. Both are totally valid expressions of love. The methodology is just completely reversed. Understanding this saves you from feeling offended as a guest and saves hosts like Li Yang from feeling rejected.
But what if you are literally going to burst? You need a polite refusal that definitely doesn't offend the host. Well, here is your magic phrase.
不料不料，谢谢，我吃饱了。
Focus on the
不料不料.
no, thank you. Actually, saying it twice is the real secret here. It softens the rejection, it makes it conversational and gentle, clearly signaling that you deeply appreciate the offer, but you are wonderfully, completely stuffed.
All right, we made it. Level 4 Final Boss Splits Quiz. Let's see if we've actually mastered the vocabulary. I'm going to fire off the English, and I want you to shout the Chinese word at the screen during the pause. Ready? To eat. Sure. A little bit. Dian. More. 多. If you nailed those, you are 100% ready for the final scenario.
Here is your final boss, the scenario. You are at a Chinese dinner. The host is smiling, piling a massive piece of pork belly right onto your plate. You are completely full. There is no way you can take another bite. What is the specific two-word polite refusal phrase you must use? I'm going to give you a nice long pause to formulate your answer. Go ahead.
And the answer is 不了不了. If you said that, huge congratulations. You have officially beaten the Chinese dinner table boss. You've successfully navigated a really tricky cultural interaction without hurting anyone's feelings, all while showing immense respect for their hospitality.
The ultimate takeaway from this explainer is that every single culture has a unique love language. Learning to say 多吃点 or knowing exactly when to deploy a 不了不了 isn't just about memorizing vocabulary. It is fundamentally about learning how to give and receive love in a completely different cultural context. When someone tells you to eat more, they are literally handing you their heart on a plate. So let's end with a quick question for you to ponder. Li Yang mentioned in the source material that his mother's love language isn't food at all. It's phone calls. 2 calls a day without fail. That ringing phone is her saying, I love you. So I ask you, how does your family express love without actually using the words, I love you? What is the duochi den of your own household? Think about it and see how recognizing these hidden love languages might just change the way you see your own family. Thanks so much for learning with me today.